Welcome back. Happy September. I'm your host. Welcome back to another great episode of Corn Fed with the Side of Cajun Sauce. I'm your host, Joel Lincoln, met by the man that is always on the road, had his birthday yesterday. It's Tuesday, September 5th. We are coming to you. I'm in Charlotte. Tone is back in Denham Springs. This is my co-host, the birthday boy, the man that never stops. He is Mr. Always in the gym, a guy that I'm fortunate to call a great friend, Coach Tony Sterling. Tone, happy Tuesday. What'd you do for your birthday yesterday?
Get some much needed sleep. That's what I need. Much needed sleep.
Yeah, because where were you working at earlier over the weekend? Because you were where? I know you were at a camp. Remind me.
I was at the top 160 camp that John Lucas always have for the top girls in the country in Houston, Texas, and it was pretty
Okay.
fun.
Who stood out to you? Were there any girl you said there? I know we spoke briefly yesterday on your birthday. Who are the girls you liked and saw that really impressed you?
And with codes and stuff that Lucas liked to have, he liked that mention. And when he talk about it, you don't want the coaches to talk about it, but I can tell you, I had one of the kids that was on my team. She was a pro. She's a future pro. Then I had a guard that'll be a sophomore this year, and she'll be in a Pac-12. If it's still the Pac-12,
I was gonna
when she
say,
graduates from high school.
yeah,
But
Pac-12 RIP, tell
but the best kid was probably a 6'1" small forward from she was from Virginia. I don't think nobody on my team could hold her.
Yeah, so they're
She was on real
obviously.
sense.
She says she could go. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
But no, this was probably my third time working one of Lucas camps, which they always good, but just listening to him, because pretty much like a basketball sermon to me,
Mm-hmm.
because he got so much knowledge, and he's one of those guys that anybody can relate to what he's saying, and he always got an amazing story for all the people, in the basketball world that know his story, you know. But he's hard. He hard on everybody. He only person he ain't hard on is the young little babies that's walking around. They got diapers on, but he hard on everybody, even the coaches, to make you better.
Mm-hmm.
But we go back to me, we always talk about Snow Valley, how it prepares for these type of camps. You know, Even though we get a little tired at these camps, but nothing compares to how we prepare when we work Snow Valley. But
Mm-hmm. Well,
John Lucas
excellent.
always have great camp.
Yeah, no, and I know he does a whole lot. And obviously, I know there was one girl with Queen City Ballers. Jada McClure was out there. I know she had a pretty good showing as well. I was not at the event. I was here. I had a little bit of training here locally, but I'm with Tone. I got caught up on my rest, man. That was last weekend, and we're going to follow back on the Rising Stars. We're going to get you all caught up with kind of what all happened in August. It was a time of transition. Tony and I both are now back in school. Tony a little bit earlier than I. Tony went out to LA to do the CP3 Elite Guard Skills. Tone, how was that experience? What did you do? How long was the camp? Give us a little rundown on that weekend. I know that was almost a month ago now, and it doesn't seem like that long since we just left Made Hoops in Chicago. So tell us about that CP3 Elite Guard Camp.
As usual, when you go to California, it's always beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I always enjoy California. Probably one of my favorite spots. But the camp, usually you have a bunch of NBA coaches there. You get to know them, and they always focus on the simple things. like John Beckett, that was with the NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Jamie Young, that was with Boston Celtics. Um, Gennario Pargo, that's with the Jazz. But those guys always do a greater
Hmm.
job. And I've known John Beckett since they had the Nike Academy at the Mama Complex. It was before COVID hit. But those guys, they always focus on the specific things. It'd be little stuff like how to pass the ball, how to pick and roll, how to screen, how to ice. It's the same, it's different language, but it's the same language as we would speak, being a high
Hmm.
school coach, college coach, you know. But it was great. Big thank you to Irv Rowland for, giving me the opportunity to be a part of that. And also I go back to the CP3, middle school guys, John Adams and Steve Shelton for, you know, give me the opportunity to, build that
Hmm.
relationship on that side with the Elite Guard Camp. As far as like
Hmm.
the kids, I enjoyed the high school kids more. They were competitive. The college kids were competitive too. Um, One kid that I like was Jaleel Bathia. And
Hmm.
I think he went from like number 80 to now he's in the top 10 in the
Wow.
2024 class. And Jeremy Roach on the college side, that plays for Duke. Um, Real long. He got super long arm. His length can shoot it. So it was good to see. You see that, see those kids that we see on TV and stuff that we hear about or whatever. And even with the high school kids, we probably seen them at a CP3 middle school camp. And just I don't
Yeah.
think the big difference with them now is they're much taller, more mature, but they always remember you. And there's not too many people that can come in. It's mostly NBA scouts. One of our
Hmm.
good friends, David Bullwinkle was there.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
which
for
I always
sure.
pick his brain about what he's looking for and stuff like that. And one thing that I noticed, like on the marketing side with Jordan Brand, they try to, for like events go, taking them to eat, you know, taking them to see the Jumpman LA uh, the site that they have that the kids enjoy themselves besides just being on the basketball court. And mainly, Chris Paul is there. He's showing them how to, be a basketball player, but also showing them how to be a professional. You know, Kobe, who I forgot his last name. Kobe White. Kobe White was there. DeMar DeRozan. Those guys was there, and they talked to the kids about how just working. How the payoff might not pay off right now, and what you're gonna do when you run into a roadblock. The
Hmm.
adversity. How you can get knocked down sometimes, get back up the eighth time. But just hearing DeMar DeRozan talk, he came out of high school and still in the league, still productive. No, he didn't come
Hmm.
out of the league. He went to USC, but
Yep.
he basically an OG, now in the NBA. So it was pretty good to see those guys. But
And
my main thing that I always do, because the on court stuff is natural for me, knowing, building relationships with all the coaches and stuff, even the NBA scouts. And I think my main focus this past year has been trying to learn the marketing side that Jordan Brand and Nike Brand does. Is reaching out to those guys, and they've been all supportive, beneficial, knowledgeable about how to do things as a coach, even though I'm not in the corporate world of marketing. So, and it's just
hmm.
as competitive as the coaching world.
Oh
So
yeah, for
he's
sure.
pretty
No, and
good.
that's oh yeah, and that was your second or third time out helping out with that event.
That second time,
Yep. And
the
no,
second
that's
time.
I'm sure that obviously just a high level of basketball, high level of humans in there, and obviously plenty to learn. And what knowledge nuggets or what did you take anything away specifically from that or from the summer? I guess looking at zooming out here as we have a moment to reflect on the summer. What are what'd you learn? What are knowledge things you're taking back and now as a coach that made you better over the summer?
I think now with us starting school, before I left to go work all these camps, I had some of our guys that we was running stadiums and stuff just to stay in shape. And it's hard work because it's so hot down here in Louisiana. So I think they kind of mature some of those guys just to see what hard work looks like and how hard it is. And I
Hmm.
mean, we still in the gym to this day. I mean, just an hour ago, I had 15 kids. Well, it's 5 middle school, 5 of our ninth graders, and 5 of our, JV varsity kids that came to, work out. But I think for me, this season is trying to keep the chemistry as usual. You never know how that goes. But mainly try to get better during the season instead of trying to get better. During the off season, like with the thing like 4 guys that we get extra shots for. Um, just teaching them learning how to play. There's one kid on our team. Been working with him since the 7th grade. Fundamentally, he's there. 2 things that he need is the mental part of it, mental toughness part of it, and just learning how to play. And then
Hmm.
one thing that I got away from the Chris Paul camp in California is how they play ones, like 1-on-1, twos, 2-on-2, then 3-on-3, and then you progress into 4-on-4. They never played 5-on-5. Well, so we've been doing that a lot, and it's been helping. You know, so
Hmm.
it's kind of even with something like that simple, how it can help you so much. So we've been actually been doing that a lot. On top of that, just doing box drills. I don't ever change that. That's just part of my identity. You
Yeah,
know, I'll never
that's
change that.
that's a cup of coffee every day. That's like breathing. Got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it. It ain't changed.
Yep. Well, excellent. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then, yeah, it's actually funny you talk about that because around that same time when you were out in LA, I flew down to Guanajuato, Mexico, helping out with the Veritas camp. Awesome. It was awesome to get back to coaching internationally. Had done it a couple times previously with Nike. In the Yao Ming Foundation in China. This time going down to Mexico was just awesome. Luis Tercios. This was his 12th year doing the camp and clinic. I mean, they had 80 kids in the dorms. We had 93 kids at camp. It was capped. It was cool. Guanajuato, I'd never heard of it, but man, it was a beautiful city in the mountains. Had an amazing experience camp. He runs just like Snow Valley. You're on the court 6, getting done around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And that was 4 days. Then they had a clinic, which that was, for me, getting a little more experience and opportunities to give a clinic. But talking about that, that progression, just, doing things that really help kids and, really taking what they're going to see in a game, that action. So we're not just doing a drill, do a drill. Like, stationary ball handling, this has been something I've been new on. And, after having some conversations with a lot of people over the summer, like, I'm just not a huge stationary ball handling guy anymore. And like just talking to, sharing that philosophy, talking to, Manasa Chinawa, who as well as a Snow Valley, California guy, seeing how he taught and, he present Coach Jim Boone, who's another Snow Valley guy, is now actually at Greensboro College. He's got a free clinic coming up at the end of October. But yeah, so it was just great. I mean, high level stuff. which was awesome. And, just simple. Like, the one thing that really, I remind myself every summer and always try to remind myself of, but, I think you mentioned it is, it's all the same. The things you say at Chris Paul, yeah, you may speak it a little differently, use a different word here and there, but the game is the game. And if you can coach, you can coach. Like if you can be an excellent high school coach, you can coach, it's just you speak to their age, things like that. And man, like it's always refreshing when you go somewhere else and you see it. And really, you see, hey, this is how you do it. This is, you go ones, twos, threes, and this is how you expand your game. This is how you work on things. And then last weekend, Tone, you came out here, well, not to Charlotte, flew into Charlotte, picked you up, cruised up to Winston-Salem for CP3 Rising Stars. I believe this was my third one, Tone. I believe this is probably what, your fourth or fifth. And who'd you see? What'd you like? It was obviously great to be back with John Adams, Deshaun Thomas, Jeff Becker, Jared Newsome, as well as Nicole Dixon on the girls' side. Girls' first time ever being at Rising Stars. And for the boys, obviously, loaded field per usual almost. But Tom, what were your takeaways? Who'd you see that you like? Obviously, great to see, that CP3 family and everybody that, the relationships and the kids and kind of, I always look forward to that as an end of the summer because then we started school this week. So what do you got on Rising Stars, Tone? Talk to me.
Most of the kids, familiar faces, Jordan Askew, that's at Sierra Canyon, good friends of mine. The Baba kid that we seen that was at May Hoops, that's gonna be pretty good. I think one that really stood out to me was Jacob Lanier. We don't get to see all the kids, but like when he came to my court, he was, had a lot of energy. Austin Brown, I think he's out of Texas, pretty good himself. But always good to see those kids, play, because this is pretty much like their last season. Either get in the camp because it get pretty competitive after that. You got to get invites to like the Nike Elite 100, Jason Tatum, the Nike Academy, which, we seen all those guys even before they got big time, AJ the Banners, the Boozers, Tyron Stokes. We always see those guys. We see them now, so.
And I was going to speaking of, and just to give a couple other names that are now up and coming, I think you mentioned somebody that went from like 80th up to 8th this summer. AJ White was similar. A year ago, he was at he was at Rising Stars. We made the top 20 game. And he's gotten ton better, had a great year at Myers Park. Now he's top 25 in the country. Hudson Greer, another kid we saw at Rising Stars. Who's now, I just saw the newest made rankings came out either today or yesterday, and he bumped himself up and his stock's been rising. Obviously doing great things with Coach Kevin and those guys over at Pro Skills in Dallas. But yeah, I think that just goes to the depth. And, I think you mentioned the Baba kid and a handful of other kids, like, there's some generational players that you mentioned, but I'm excited to see who in these couple classes will we be talking about in a year or two of, hey, this kid took the next jump and now here he is on a national scene, getting some offers, getting some opportunities, getting some notoriety.
Yeah, just the main thing, just the setup of Rising Stars, being around all those guys you just mentioned. Houston and Spencer, how they getting all the kids there or whatever. So kudos to those guys with the hard work they do. And you got the 5 regional camps that's coming up. So I'm gonna try to do as many of those as possible before we start our season.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Then
nominations and dates just came out yesterday. I know we got a couple kids from Snow Valley. We got to get there. some of those Iowa boys are coming.
Hmm. But it's always good. I just I think I was telling you what a couple weeks ago how I just want to be at home for for a weekend.
Bruh.
Always gone because there's so many camps now. I don't even know how the kids do it. To be honest, I know they're young and we all been young before having that unlimited energy, but there's so many camps going on. It's unreal. So I know those kids tired. You know, they play 100 more games outside of high school basketball.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're playing more than NBA season and playoffs every year from fourth grade until whenever.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it's
You don't
crazy,
want to get.
especially with the camps. Because I mean, next weekend. So yeah, I took this weekend off. Like I said, did a few local trainings. But yeah, I'm with you. I needed it. I think that getting on the airplane, getting up and down, you land, go to the gym, get done, go to the hotel, wake up, eat hotel breakfast, go to the gym, get home,
Mhm.
boom, pack up, go to the gym, fly back home, and then you're right back to work on Monday morning. You do that. And obviously, summer is a little bit looser, but you're doing a lot more too with, that getting up and down. Cause, I'm excited for the middle school event, CP3 middle school events, especially the one I know I'm going to for sure be at the one in Atlanta at the end of next month. I'm excited. I'm going to be at the Made Hoops. That's also going to be out in Atlanta. I believe that's in October. So those couple, I know we've got, um, shoot, we got Elite 60 this coming weekend in Charlotte. One day camps both sold out back to back. Wayne Davis does a great job as the director. Those are, one thing I think, shoot, I was telling you, like they get good kids in there. I mean, the talent, you'll usually see a couple kids you've never seen before. And obviously, it's, not every single one of those kids. One of the kids, who was the kid that was over here from your area? That was over here earlier this summer. His dad's hyped by Kev on Instagram. What's the old boy's name?
Oh, oh, Karen Ivory.
Yep, Cameron Ivy was over here. So yeah, I'm excited to get over there. We've got 60 kids on Saturday, 60 kids on Sunday. But yeah, now we're starting to stare down dang near an event every weekend until, well, you go into high school season. Yeah, my 3-on-3 league kicks off next week. So I'll be in the gym we got third through sixth grade boys, third through sixth grade girls. If you're local here in Charlotte, we do have a couple spots in each of those leagues left. They're almost at capacity. But yeah, Tone, and now you started doing a little training here. So tell us about that. How's that been going? You said you had 15 kids there tonight. Anybody that's in Denham Springs, how do they become a part of that? What nights is it? What's the rates? Give us the breakdown here.
Uh, it's uh, like every year around this time, I always have people reach out to me and come. You know, when you train their kids or whatever. So I do it. So like at least 2 days, 2 days, 2 or 3 days a week. It might be more or whatever. So I just do it until the season is over. But I'm gonna try to start doing it like year round. You know, at the beginning of the week. Just depends. But just getting those younger kids in there while they're young, picking up good habits. But the
Mm-hmm.
main thing, just teaching them how to play because the fundamentals is not simple, but you got to add a lot of stuff. Like when you're doing box drills with your footwork, then learn how
Mm-hmm.
to drill both hands, you know. But usually you can, get kids that really want it. They got some type of ability that you can see or whatever. But it's like 10 to 15 kids that come, and you know, I tell them they can come as much as they want, but we, try to go those 2 times, 2 or 3
Mm-hmm.
times a week, which I think if it was up to me, we'll go every day besides on the weekends. But being in school, having, you know, high school practice, doing these camps on the weekends. So I try
Yeah.
to, try to be pretty busy, try to get out the way early, then have some time to kind of relax, after we get off this call. I
Yeah.
mean, this Zoom call. But it's I'm gonna try to do it year round. I want to make it a goal. Try to do it year round. Then mainly just have our high school kids, some of my high school kids in there teaching them, the fundamentals too. Because if they can teach, they can see the game from a different perspective, and they'll
Hmm.
learn just as quick of what we're trying to teach them on the court when it comes to playing. So pretty good.
Yeah, well, no, that's excellent. Yeah, no, I mean, that's when I moved to Charlotte, I've really, dedicated a decent amount of time and energy and moving forward this next year. I'm with you. I'm going to be doing a lot of, fourth through eighth grade, just development, trying to, give kids good habits, teach them how to play, get their eyes up so they're not looking at the floor, get the ball moving. So it's not a bounce here every single time I get the ball. I got to take 75 dribbles and we started with the girls. We had about 18 girls signed up. So we had just working on basic pass and cut, and just like anything, it was a little clunky, but we got a little bit better at it. We came in, girls got a little bit better. We had a good amount of fun. Worked on dribbling with either hand. Did modified box drills. Did some line drills, guarded the ball, played little ones. Then worked on some threes, and yeah, I think and the thing I've noticed is parents really appreciate somebody just teaching their kid how to do the basics, and you never graduate a skill, and I think so often I'll speak to trainers and things I see in Charlotte. There's just, there's, I don't want to say there's not a rhyme or a reason. I'm sure there is, but when you're watching it and you're trying to figure out what each thing we're doing, it's not necessarily always the crispest. It's not planned. You can see it just kind of can sometimes be a series of drills. And I think the one thing that, going back to Snow Valley and so many other, being a teacher, you learn of the progression and, the repetition
Yeah.
of doing the same thing and getting real good at it. So, no, I'm excited, John. I'm
Yeah,
really
man.
excited to see how y'all do this winter. Obviously, this fall is going to be great. How's the Dedham Springs football team doing? Because I know football is king as much as we love hoops. How's the squad doing?
Oh, they lost against Mandeville Friday. So they going through some growing pains. They had a really good senior class that graduated last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going through some growing pains right now. Mason Voorhees has been starting for us for 4 years as our point guard. He's pretty pretty damn good in football too. He probably going to college to play football at Division I school. And he told me
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago it's Louisiana Lafayette, Nichols, Southeast, you know, those schools that's been on. Overall good kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing he got a LSU commit, and Deshaun McBride, big safety. He actually played basketball for us his freshman year before he started. He was starting as a sophomore, you
Mm-hmm.
know, on the football team. So
Well,
he's pretty good.
excellent.
Like Mason, yeah, Mason been starting football and basketball all 4 years on both with both sports. So he pretty special kid.
Mm-hmm.
But like for us, when I go back to the training, piggyback on what you were saying with the training and stuff. Like with me, I need the kid needs some type of, you know, I think more of his learning skills with me because I don't let you go on to the next, you know, progression until you get the progression before that right. So that's kind of like some OCD type stuff, and I get frustrated. But some kids don't like it, some parents don't like it, some parents, some kids they love it. But
Hey, the beautiful thing about
you
the
get back.
training game is you just tell people, yo, hey, whatever kind of sandwiches I'm serving, you don't want them. There's another restaurant down the road. That's the beautiful. As a trainer, hey, I know I tell people all the time, I'm peanut butter sandwich guy. You don't like peanut butter sandwiches, I might not be your guy. But yeah, we're gonna come in. We're gonna, try to get kids better. And one thing I think parents always appreciate in my experience, and kids do too, um, is you can't just sit there and watch it be bad. If kids are making mistakes, just like in airport, you see something, say something. Like if I'm just watching you travel, this is a big pet peeve of mine, especially working with younger kids, is come on, man. Like we can't just sit there and watch a kid travel 5 times in a row and not say something one time. It just blows my
Yeah,
mind. And like in how we're doing with our little 3-on-3 league, like, yo, we're gonna just rewind and try it again. Like it doesn't have to be punitive, but like we can't just allow it. I can't watch like the game I love, the game that is my favorite game in the entire world, just be done wrong. It just bothers me.
yeah,
But yeah, man. Oh
yeah.
shoot, Tony, I'm a little behind on the reading. Did you fin? I know you've been reading a lot. But what are you currently reading? And did you finish up I Came as a Shadow by John Thompson?
I actually that I'm always truthful. That book actually got boring to me, so I was actually reading a book called The Locker Room, D'Andrea Campbell, when he was at the Dame Lillard camp. Told me that was the book that Phil Beckner gave to everybody. And that was a great book. I read that book the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I gave it to Coach Cab, and he read it the same day. He couldn't put it down. I gave it to our football coach for him to read. It's actually pretty good. So right now, I just still been journaling, uh, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick up another book pretty soon.
All right.
But nothing against. I mean, it was I Came as a Shadow. It's a great book. It's a great book. It's just one of them books where I just being in school,
Oh
me
yeah, no,
pushing it
it's
back, going on the road every weekend. I just couldn't get it.
yeah,
Couldn't
no,
read it.
there's certain books you got to read at certain times, and I get you. That one you got to like. I get what you're saying because there's certain books where yeah, I picked it up and you get about 30, 40, 100 pages in, and you just kind of lose your way, and then you pick that one back
Hmm.
up, down the road, and all of a sudden, just like anything, you know, right teacher appears when you're ready to learn the lesson. So,
Yeah. I actually heard on a podcast from Andre Iguodala. He was talking about Pat Riley's book, Winners Within. I actually got it in my backpack, so I'm gonna start reading that. You know, before I gotta get that done before the season
all right,
or whatever.
well,
But
yeah, Tone, that's been good, man. Well, shoot, happy birthday again. I know you had a great day getting rested. I'm glad you made it back safe from camp. John Lucas camp, obviously, not just signing up. I saw Brandon Osborne, Coach O presented down there, another CP3 Snow Valley guy. Man, glad you got to go down there. Proud of you. Glad you had a good time. Most importantly, glad you made it back safe so you could drive that bus this morning and this afternoon for them kids.
it's still hot down here, man.
Yes, sir. Well, shoot, Tone. I'm looking forward to seeing how LSU responds to adversity after it's getting popped. Yeah. Hey, now I know I'm not even going to talk to you about coming down to a game at LSU because there's going to be something that weekend. And you're going to tell me at the last second that you can't be there, and I'm going to have to lose my money on my plane ticket for a second time. So I'll wait till the Tigers are better. Be Brian Kelly. I like it. I'm still behind you. I'm better than those psychotic fans like Tony. But yo, Tone, go Tigers. We're going to start doing this on a more weekly basis. The summer's kind of got away, and I'll put on myself that we just didn't get it scheduled. So that's on me. We're going to come on, and I think how Tone's going to do his workouts weekly. I'm going to continue doing my workouts. We're going to be recording these, trying to talk about the players, prospects, things, and different things on the court, different books, all that. So make sure you continue to tune in. If you've got feedback, make sure you're putting that in the comments below. And yeah, Tone, any shout outs, shameless plugs, anything you got for us? We got about 2 minutes till we are out of time.
Just grateful for what we're doing with this game that we love, man.
Absolutely. Hey, and yeah, oh, come on, man. You're giving shout outs. Shout out Stephen Carter, getting a head coaching job.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Carter.
Dondrell Campbell is now at Northern Colorado or Northern Arizona?
Northern Colorado. Brandon Espinoza, I worked Nike Elite Camp with him. He's at, what is it? Grand Rio in Texas. Sure, there's a bunch of those guys got jobs.
Shoot, shout out Nelson Taroba taking the Calgary Flames to the finals in the Canadian League his first year of the program up in Calgary. Cody Topper. He said, get me out of this heat. I'm going to go to the nation's capital, dance to some go-go music. Woo!
Bunch of those guys. Quinn Garrison got a job with Valpo. Did we mention Alex Washington?
Hey, A-Wash, I just hollered at him today. Absolutely. He was on the last step. Actually, no, he wasn't. You're right. Shout out Alex Washington. Who else we got? Ryan Richmond is now in Japan, head coach of the Seahorses.
Josh Mills.
Isaac
Mills.
Isaac Mills.
Who is it? Jamario Rugley got an NAIA job. Our boy Frick moved to Kansas, looked up again, got another.
He's back in
job.
it. Hey, that's what he does, man. Big time players. Shout out B Frick. He's an owl.
Always find the talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Adkins we got less than a minute, so we got to wrap up these shouts. Coach Adkins is going to help out with the Denver Nuggets G League team. So shout out DA. I'm excited for him. He's obviously a big time bargain in the NBA. We're up against it, man. Appreciate you, Tone. We'll be back here next week. We got a handful of skill development shooting videos coming up later this week across all social medias. Reach out immediately, if not sooner, if we can be a resource. Tone, we'll see you next time, man. Stay in the gym.
You too.